back off. We're as mentioned, we're currently short from 98.5 here after the market got a stronger sell-off today off that early jacked up high up here just above our blue line, and then much stronger selling response. But what happens is a lot of time the riggers, they'll kick them up, and the sellers in the early part of the session, this is the first half an hour, 45 minutes of trading, they'll have a little more punch, and then later they keep getting stopped out by the riggers, so they lose a lot of their enthusiasm to short. They're doing it again right now. And so we're still looking for a short here, but unfortunately the riggers once again are trying to push it up to the center of the opening range here, and they're not letting the market back off. So we may have to get out of this trade, but I'm still watching for 98.50 to get some lower pressure on the downside. Let's see if we can knock them back lower. Knock them back lower and get them going on the downside here. But they are still kind of working this center of the opening range here at 1.25. And if they don't start letting it go here pretty soon, we're going to have to get out of the trade. Very unusual market, kind of a slower summertime period here. And we're just watching to see if this market can back them up under 98 again and start working that short side like they did earlier. But right now my guess is that the riggers are going to be doing what they can to try to stop out more shorts and prevent that further lower selling floodgates to open up here. But still, it strikes me that the sell side is where we want to be here. But let's see if they can see if we can return back to the downside pressure under 98, 47.98, and start working the market lower again. Maybe not. They're still trying to jam it up here, trying to block the sellers. Here we go. All right, they're still trying to put some pressure on the sellers. That's us. Let's see if they can knock them back under 4,800 again, or if they're going to keep pushing the upside, we're going to have to get out if they can't seem to let 2.25 go here. Might be the case. Unless we get all of a sudden we get some kind of slide back lower here. They're still jamming too. Let's see if we can get them to just somehow make a little miracle crunch to the downside here, slide lower, give our position a little air, and see if we can get them to move back lower under 4,800. Would be a good sign. Still a chance they could slip here and start pulling back for us, but let's be a little careful here. Stay willing to jump out if we have to. See if they can back them off under 4,800. That would help our case for the expected lower move down to 93.50. That's what we're targeting. A return to the sell side from this level up here above 98 to slowly revert back to the downside under 98, back down to 94, 93 to 94. But we are still getting a little bit of rigor rambunctiousness, let's call it. They're trying to prop it up. They got that Dow up 112 points, totally embarrassing. No rhyme or reason for it. Dennis Gartman got stopped out. He was one of the big four major hedge fund guys that got gave about a week ago, week and a half, a call to sell stocks, all out call to sell stocks, bearish call. Whereas he, I think, actually put on the position, but he said he got stopped out in 24 hours for 2.5 point loss, 2.5%, which is big for hedge fund manager to get hammered like that. But that's okay. He's a smart guy. But Bill uh, uh, Gross, the bond king at Janus now, and Jeffrey Gundlach also calling for a stronger pullback, and myself actually, we sold out a lot of stocks over the last couple of weeks, flattened out on just about everything except the gold, lightened up on the emerging markets, still holding that, and we're still looking for this market here to, at this point, right in this level, start losing ground, pulling back under 78 with the goal of 78 to run 93 to 94 zone. But you know who's still propping them up here, still playing games, trying to prop them up. Just had a little pullback to 79.5, and they're snapping them back up. So the same kind of rigor activities are starting to come back into the game again here. That's often what they do. When you notice them rigging it, you can see these little minor pullbacks, and then they snap them right back up. That means they're pressing buttons over on the cash market. They're not going to use the futures or our mini NAS to rig the market. I believe on the cash NAS is where they're, pushing the buttons over there. So let's see if they can break them down back under 99.5. Looked pretty good there for a while. I think they're going to start sliding, and it just looks like it's going to take a little time. That's all. But let's see if we can revert back to this sell mood here. Usually in a pattern like this, where they reverse like this, they get exhausted up here, especially when you look at it in light of the opening range and the center of the opening range right here. That's when they kind of at least revert back down lower again, probably back down at least to the dynamic trend band number 2 at 95.25, and we're looking for 93.50. So we'll be watching the bottom of the opening range very carefully there at 95.25. It's a fixed number, so we don't have to worry about it changing. So we'll watch 95, very careful, 95.25, 95.50, whatever. But if they do let them have it here and we start seeing them move lower, we're still going to be targeting 93.50. And just the market has less swing because of the slower summer here. Those ranges will open up, I believe. Come September, we'll get a lot smoother action going. That'll be for sure. We'll get more counter buys and sells. Well, counter sells. The buying is not a problem. I think that's what's baffling a lot of the big hedge fund managers too. It's like, where is the counter selling? Where have all the sellers gone? They killed it. They killed their enthusiasm. But right here, we're watching to see if we can get a little more selling punch coming back in here again, driving them down to 95. Our target's 93.5, so we're looking for a little bit more of a breakdown here to get going as we watch to see if we can get this thing to pull back to 95 now, and then crack that and run them down to 93.5. Okay, so far, so good, but it's still got work to do here. Whether stalling in this area, possibly trying to snap them back up over 4,800, it's possible. We're short at 98.5, and we're looking for 93.5. But so far it looks like the downside pattern is reestablishing itself, and so hopefully then they'll just get some teeth here and we'll get a little bit of a selling pylon under 97. It's a key number now, 97, breaking 97, smashing them down to 95, and then hopefully taking a dip under 95 to that 93 half. Again, watching for the market to lose 9,700, right, or 47.97. That's the first thing we're looking for, losing 97, diving down to 96, and then if that happens, all becomes a little bit questionable. We can see the blue line right here at 97. These blue lines represent key areas that we've marked. You can see this one up here represented a big ramp up from yesterday's lower move, and then they hit them from there. And so now we're watching for this blue line to lose ground, for a dip down under the orange line here, which is our boomerang line in the sand. It's moving, breathing support resistance number. We can get the price under 96.5, then they should break them down to the bottom of the opening range here at 95.25. Then we're looking for 95.25 to get hit with more selling, possibly dipping them down here under 95.25 down to that 93.5. So here comes 96, but again, we still got to be a little careful breaking under this blue line. We got to clear that orange line there. The orange line is 96.25, so we got to clear that on the downside to get that selling pressure rolling in. Get that selling pressure rolling in under 96, breaking 95 down, and then ideally, if this is going to turn into more of a downside pattern, we should be able to get that blip down to 93.50. Now the 93.50, it strikes me that it's going to happen for us. So I'm going to try to hold out for that, but 94.50 might be a real key number I'm seeing right now. So just we have to consider that some games might be played at 94.50. If we can roll them back there, that's just a point away from our 5-point target, so I'm not going to argue about a point if they hit them down there. But right now the riggers are coming back in and re-propping up 96 here, just above the bottom of the opening range. They're re-ramping it back up here to 98.50. I think we're ready to roll into a downside pattern again here. stronger one. We've had a little minor one here. Let's see if we can get that going stronger. Still hit that 350. I believe there's still some traders have not forgotten about this. So hopefully that memory will come back and they'll start selling them off again here. Okay, let's see if we can get a stronger punch on the downside going pretty soon here. Taking him back under 96 again, and then breaking 96 down to that 95 quarter. And that's where we really got to start watching out to see if they can knock them down lower. 95 quarter, then 94.75. It all becomes a little bit like mysterious here, and you can see the riggers now are doing their little propping game on the little dips. They're back to doing that. So still expecting a sell down pattern to come in here, but it's we are seeing rigger interference coming in here, propping up the minor dips. And just be aware that sometimes when they start doing those kind of games, all of a sudden out of nowhere they spike them back higher. So I got my finger on the trigger, but we should be rolling into more of a sell down pattern here, which should take them down ideally to 94 area. But because I'm seeing these little goofy little rigger dip buying things here, we have to be careful. They're all proud of themselves because they've hiked the Dow up to 100 points here, and they may not be wanting to let that go at any level. So let's see what we got here. Let's see if they can break that, break them down. Holding in general under 98.50, sliding under 97 should give us an opportunity to see him take them down to the 4 area, under 5, without rigger interference in here on these dips. Got to get these stupid riggers to stop playing games. Let the market slide. I'm not alone now. You can see, go look on Zero Heads. There's some big people on there going, what the heck is going on? You know, this phony rigging of the markets. Let's see if we can break them down. That word's becoming a popular word now. Isn't it? Hearing a lot of that coming from Donald Trump, and that's why we like him, because he's identifying the rig. It's not easy, you know. We're coming out of a 30-40 year period of extensive globalist takeover of the country, of the world. Indeed, they're trying everything, and someone comes out of nowhere and starts calling, hey, it's all rigged, you people are riggers, you're idiots, we don't believe in it, we want our country, like what happened in Brexit, want our country back, we don't want thousands of refugees being, you know, sent to our cities, and you know, all this stuff, everything that they're doing. It's just like, so let's see what happens with all this. I mean, I've never seen such vicious attack, one-sided attack by the media against one person. Dangerous and this and that, and this guy must be really good. He's scaring the pants out of these riggers. So let's see if we can break them down and get things moving lower here. And I don't know. We're still seeing this propping up of the markets here, but boy, they got blasted on the downside earlier, much more than I would have expected. So we should be in a pattern here that Should be able to convert them to the downside down to 94 at least, if not 93. Some powerful selling earlier, and I don't know if the riggers took that as a caution sign and told their desks to prop it up a little harder, or at least at this point now, keep it propped up. In other words, don't try to ramp it up, but just kind of keep it propped up. I don't know. I wouldn't put it past them trying to reblast the upside here now that they got the Dow up. But let's see if they can. We're still looking for a move down to at least 47.94 on this breakdown here. No reason why they shouldn't be able to crack them down lower down to that level. We got 350 as our target, but it's not written in stone. Anything under 5 we got to be careful with, and that's again because of this um, bottom of the opening range right there at 95 quarters. So any break under 95 quarter, I'm going to have radar is going to be screaming alarms off, to be careful that we want to cover up the short here. But let's see if we can get them to break down, smash under 95. And it could be that if they go down there, we hit 95 and they just crack them right down to the 94, maybe a dip down to 350. With that earlier selling energy coming back in, the only thing that could stop it if the riggers decide in here that they're going to just block it and stop up the selling again. Like, oops, we missed it this morning. Not going to let it happen this time. We're going to block that. Looks like they're starting to do a little bit of that right now. And there's just not a darn thing we can do. The sell pattern is right here, right now, clearly in my charts and everything. And so far it's getting blocked. That last lower dip, 96.75. Prior to that, 96.50. And so you can see with your own eyes they're playing games again here. Playing games, ramping it straight up. Oh, somebody can't live another moment. They just can't even breathe or sleep or anything until they buy that 96.50 dip and cram it up to 47.99, 4800 again. You got to realize that's the riggers. Who else on this slow market like this right here has all that kind of money to just jam the thing back up? Anyway, we're back into a problem here. They're not letting it slide. We're in a sell pattern. It's the market still should be willing to and quite able to slide down to 93, but they're blocking the dips now. They're buying up the dips, try to block the market from selling off. Still holding short though. We're in a sell pattern. It's getting late in the day here. Slowest period of the summer right now. Next 2 weeks. And I'm just waiting once again for this sell pattern to get some teeth. Not looking for a crash or any of that stuff. Just a normal pullback here. Back down into the bias. Normally in a setup like this you get at least a pullback down in the dynamic trend band again. But these goofy riggers are not even letting that happen. The low was 696 was the lowest pullback. So let's hold in this sell pattern here and see if they can start running back lower. And if not, they're going to keep playing games here. We're going to have to get out, I suppose. Gonna try to hold short here, but it's a little frustrating seeing all this rigging going on. $4,800 again. Here they go. Congratulations, riggers. They're trying to turn the algorithms around right now on the bullish side. That's one of the tricks they do by jamming the market up. They try to turn the algorithms around on the big hedge fund systems so it does the work for them. Ah, crap. So disgusting. Hold on just a little bit longer on the short side. I'm just on the verge of getting out, but I just want to hold just a little bit longer. We are in a sell pattern. They should be willing to slide back lower. This might just be a little fluke here. Let's see if they hit them back down under 98, then that little pop was a fluke, and the riggers may get taken to the shed here. So far, so good. The seller's coming back in here. Let's knock them down under 96 again. Get rid of 96 and see if we can knock them back down. So far, riggers are struggling a little bit here with this deal. Alright, well maybe this is where they blast him under 96 here. Take him back down lower. I hope so. We're short, so that's what we want. Hate seeing him get rigged all the time. It's very disgusting. I'm sure Dennis Gartman feels worse than I do. God. Yeah, can you imagine? Okay, watching to see if 96 can break, if we can start to get a downside slide going here. Breaking under 96, I can see now that what I'd like to do is immediately move this to 450. Instead of 5 points, we're going to target 4 points. I think if they break, they could end up sliding a little bit harder, but I don't. It looks to me, just from what I'm seeing, it looks like the riggers are trying to block this from happening again. That strength of that move lower. So the idea is that if they take them down to the bottom of the opening range at 95, maybe, just maybe, they'll dip them slightly under that and then come in and do a rescue mission to prop them back up. Just kind of a guess based on the, we got the dynamic trend bands crossing over, and just the whole structure thing strikes me that that could be the case. So breaking under 96.75, watch for a dip down to 95 quarter by 95 half, and then we'll try to see if that can blast lower and we get that 94 half going here. So here's 96.75 coming in. We bravely held through the rigor ramp up phase. Let's see if we can get a little more selling pressure under 96 going to knock them under 95 or down to 95 and maybe a slight dip under that. Go down, nail our 450 there. We just changed the 350 exit to 450. Trying to be careful because I see all this rigging coming in here and it's making me nervous. They could snap any of these pullbacks and just ramp them straight back up to 4,800 again. And it will be disgusting, but that's what they're kind of doing right now. They're in that mode. I've seen it 1,000 times. You've seen it being here in the room too. Those are one of the symptoms of the rigor presence, when these little minor dips stall and then they get snapped back up 2-3 points just like that. It's like, oh come on, who's so desperate to go in there and do that? Okay, here we go. 5 quarter. Trying to see if we can just break 5 by a smidgen and knock them down. That's the bottom of the opening range there at 5 quarters. So they ran right to 5 quarter, and hopefully there's enough selling juice in the thing here that they can come in and knock 5 out by a couple ticks. And if they get, if they take off under 4 and just keep selling, we don't care about that. I'm just saying the idea is that they can go down and blast him under 95 just a little bit. You can see they made that hard dive down to 95 quarter, the exact bottom of the opening range, and then they're kind of stalling and snapping them back here. So you have to be a little bit careful to see that they can continue. Let's break 5 down here and get that 450 action, and see if we can get the 450 action under 5. Well, duh. I know that's that's under 5, but there we go. 475. Exit at the market. Okay, we did get filled. Right when I said to exit, we got filled on a move to 4.25 right there. So good deal. 94.50 for plus 4 points on that. 20 ticks on mini NAS. $20 a tick. So if you're trading 4 contracts, it's 4 times. Let's see, it's 16 ticks times 4 contracts. 64 times $20. What? Oh, let me do that again. 4 points times, each point is 4 ticks. So 16 ticks times $20 is 320. What's wrong with my calculator? 4 ticks. Oh, $20 a point, that's what it is. 4 ticks, 4 points, or 1 point is $80. Or the 4-point move is $80 a point. Sorry about that. Times 4, $320 if you're trading 4 contracts on that deal. Okay, so we're just kind of clearing everything out here. You saw that live trade there for 4 points. It was tricky because we had, the riggers jacking them back up to the center of the opening range up here. But you see how it went exactly the center on this red line? And then boom, down they went, hitting our target. They could actually cave in a little more from here, but I'm not. Right now I'm kind of watching for the support to come back in. So we'll see if we get another trade. Let's go ahead, take a little risk here and go long at the market. Going long at the market here, 96, 95.75. If you just heard me say to go long, you were long at 95.75 by 96. We'll see if the riggers want to hike them back up here. Let's see if they want to jack them back up to 99 again. We're going to try to see if we can get 3 points out of it. Main thing for now, as we start out here, is just to see if this position can hang up. Let's see what happens here. We'll know in a couple seconds here. It's real slow again. Market slow. Long at 96 now. And watching for this couple of these candles to conclude. once this candle finishes, you can see 8 ticks left on the 450 tick. Let's see if they jump up once the candle concludes or they jump down. Kind of hoping they jump up. Duh, we're long, so we want them to jump up. Well, let's see here. So, watching to see if 650 can kind of pivot higher here. Watching for, ideally, 650 to jump higher and pivot higher. And we're ideally watching for watch for 5.25 to hold up. That's the bottom of the opening range there. I'm looking for a pivot back above for this opening range bottom to hold, and for the market to spring back again as the riggers try to reassert the upside. We're not in a sell pattern. We have the dynamic trend bands crossing over. They did pull back, as I mentioned earlier, down to the dynamic trend band number 2. So ideally now they're going to pivot back to the upside on a breakout above 650. We're long at 6, so we're going to watch for a pivot on 650 to break out back to the upside. That's what we're watching for. A little bit questionable right now, but I think that's what's going to happen, and then we're going to be targeting a move to 47.99, which is a 3-point move. Let's see if we can get that action going here and get this thing rocking and rolling up to 99. So you hear me putting the riggers down a lot, but when I'm long, I really like them. Come on, riggers, go. I'm kidding, of course. We trade both sides of the market, but I just get mad at the riggers when a market, like in an overall way, should be selling off and be more fluid on both sides of the market. Hello, both sides. Excuse me. And that's when I get a little mad, when these riggers just, it's all upside, all push, jam the upside, jam the upside. Little minor dip, oh, grab that, jam the upside. There's no flow, and that's what, as traders, we like. We like the flow of buyers and sellers trading against each other. That's how I pick up information and work these numbers and figure out where to be long or where to be short or where to get out. And if it's just stagnant and everything's rigged, it's you can't really figure out what's going on. It makes trading so much harder. Anyway, we're watching, like I said, for breakout over 650 to take off to the upside. Well, they did, and they jammed 7.25. Stalled a little here. We're still watching for a 650 breakout on the upside to crank up over now 7.25. We just got that new information of 7.25 resisting. So now if we can get 650 to break out, 7.25 we watch as resistance again, and then popping through 7.25 should be, in quotes, because in this trading business everything's we hope, which should be a lot of, I had a few traders once, one guy, smart and off, you get those kind. Oh, because I said, oh, okay, we hope they're going to turn around here and go down. Oh, so it's now you're just hoping? Like big expert, he's probably been trading 6 months and he's a big expert. You get those kind. I said, yeah, of course. There's a lot of hope in this business. You put your position on and you hope that the market agrees with you, which means the rest of the market is the rest of the players or the majority of the players. Of course you hope for that. There's that hope element. You do your best analysis. You put on your best position. You give it your best view of what could happen. And then you basically, you put on that position and you hope that the market agrees with you. And you just develop yourself to where your analysis, the majority of the time, the market agrees with it. And then that's how you trade. That's how you go on. Well, right now, they're not agreeing with my long position, are they? Stupid idiots. rig, and then they finally stop. And who knows? You can never tell. Normally, I would have expected them to take 5 1/4 and just prop the thing up to the moon, but they are not agreeing right now uh, with my buy trade there. But I still think there is a chance that we're going to take them back up here. So let's be patient and see if we can get this thing to ramp back up here. I think it should be okay. Again, we're long at what did we get? 6 1/4, 650, I think I said for the room. Or no, 6 actually. We had 6 because I have this 99 here. So we had 6. I remember now. Meter shows 6 1/4, but we actually, when we called it out, I remember that now. It was 6. They trade 575 exactly when it called it out. They held there a second, then they went 6. So we're long at 6, and we're looking for 99. And let's see if they lifting them back here off that little 4 1/4 dip. Let's see if that 4 1/4 dip can hold, and they can lift them back over 6 now. We're still watching 650 as a breakout number. Still watching that 650 as a breakout number here. Let's hope it happens. See, there's that word again. You have to. We hope the market agrees that 650 is a breakout number and that the market will want to break out above 650. We're in a sell pattern area here, so it's a concern, but I'm looking for a fade of this dip down to the bottom of the opening range, and for with the flattening dynamic trend band, ideally 650 is going to break out on the upside, and they're going to ramp this thing back up to 99. But they do have the Dow up 113 points, so the rigger's mission has been accomplished to get that Dow up. Whether they want to keep jamming it, I still think that it's that what I'm seeing here suggests that they're going to try and pump them back higher here. So we're long at 6. We're shooting for 99. But right now we got a real block at 750. We got to break out at 750. Remember that last 7 1/4? They jammed up 7 1/4 right after entry, and then they flopped back lower all the way to 4 even. So we now watch for 650. There's 650. Now we need 7 1/4 to bust out, and I actually got a key number at 750. So we're actually watching for 750 to bust out and jump up there and give us that 99 action. Okay? So let's see if we can get that going here. 750 is trying to break out. I hope it can continue here. Trying to get 750 to break out and jam up to 99 on a return to the upside as the riggers try to get that 4800 working again. Probably it's probably what's on their mind, getting that 4800 handle working again on NASDAQ, mini NAS. We still don't have the confirmation on the breakout. Look at that. Oh my God, they tried to break out, got them up to 775, and they're flopping back lower here. Not a good sign, not a bad sign. We still got the 30-minute algorithm is bullish. Neutral on the 13 and the 5-minute. There's still a chance they could crank it back up again here. Let's watch again for a 750 breakout and see if they can run with it. The last high of that jump was 775. Let's see if they can take 775 and run with it and try to crank them up to 99. It's just a slow summer period, very slow. That's okay. We're going to still get some great trades here today. We're going to crank them out. Let's get 775 breaking out. There it is. Let's get 98 going and then crank 98 to 99. We can just get 98 going and then they pop them a little bit here. It's a good chance we'll get that that 99 action. I'm kind of holding out for it because my guess is that the riggers are going to try to pop it higher again. They got the Dow on their side. You know, they got some good stuff on their side for trying to pop it higher, but it is a little bit flaky here. It's a little risky. Let's just assume they're going to try to pop it higher here. Okay? Good signs are coming in telling me they can. Let's just hope they do. There's that H word again, but that's what trading is. You got your analysis. Like right in here, they haven't quite officially cleared 750 and holding it steady. So that's a concern. I gave you that number earlier. Should we be taking them out? 98's the high, and we're just asking the market to pop 98 out and jump 99. It strikes me that we're in the right configuration for that to happen, so I'm not leaving the trade behind yet. But we got to get 750 stabilized above 750. If we can stabilize 750, there is a chance that we're going to stage a breakout above 98 and get that 99 action that we want. And who knows, if they break out and do that and they hit 90, they're probably going to blow through 4,800, but I don't see the risk up there. I see risk trying to hold out too long here. So let's see if they can just break out of 98 and pop them a point higher. That's good risk in my view. If they can pop 98, a 1 point move is good risk. Asking for too much more is like, well, maybe. I don't know if the Dow is going to be up 130 points today. You know what I'm saying? I'm concerned they're going to drop back to 5 again. So I'm just trying to hang on. We're long at 96, and we're trying to get 98 to break out and just give us a point pop higher. And then we'll stand aside and let the world figure out where it wants to go. Here comes 98 again. So we're just asking for 98 to just pop and break out a little bit higher to 99. Let's just see if we can jump them up a little bit higher here. What's the big deal? Should be willing to pop higher, but you can see them struggling to do so. Oddly, I find that rather odd in the light of how much the riggers have been jamming this thing up here today. That big sell-off earlier put them on notice, so the riggers are, I think they're kind of getting a little concerned here that the floodgates could open on the sell side anytime. So let's see if we can just pop 98 out. We need 98 a quarter now. We need a tick higher. We need 4 of those. 4 of those higher ticks. So let's see if we can do it here. Hold on. Hold on. Here we go. Let's see if we can get them going. Just trying to ramp them up 4 ticks higher than 98. Every tick is cash in our pocket on the right side, so that's why we're looking for that. 98 is all of a sudden becoming like a little sticking point here. I wish it wasn't, but it is. So let's see if we can get it to pop here. What is the big deal? Hey, you riggers, we're losing faith in you here. You're supposed to be rigging the markets up, not stalling at 98. You guys are good at rigging. There you go, 8.5. Let's a little more. A little more, come on. There you go, 8.75. You can do it. 99. And we're filled on the target. So mission accomplished there. Futures trading is very risky, and only risk capital should be used. You know the rules. You know the rules about futures trading. I want you to always remember that. Don't think for a second that it's not risky and that we're putting ourselves on the line every day. It's part of what we do. Yeah, see the breakout? I thought that would occur if they broke 99, but once you've been trading a while, you start realizing that risk aversion is more important than profiting. If you control risk aversion, you can always get the profit action going. That's the start of it. So again, now they're just flying. That's that's typical. Anyway, I just once again want to show you this risk disclosure here. Futures trading's risky. You see me trading live here, but I have to call them hypothetical, even though they're being traded in numerous accounts around the globe. I have to call them hypothetical, just so you know. Thanks very much. We'll see if we got another trade coming up here. Uh, we're re-shorting at 2.25 now. Just looking for a minor pullback to 80.25 for 2 points. Just a retest back to the 80 handle. Let's see if they can knock them down. They're trying to knock them back lower. I think odds favor they're going to run 80 handle. They might break it down and smash them down lower, but this is a setup for just a small minor 2-point trade. So let's see if we can break them down under 01, 4801, and knock them down to 4800. Let's see if we can get that going. Should be in the cards. The setup I'm seeing here does suggest they can pull them back 2 points from our entry. So they just dipped them down. The low was 01.25. I might abandon this trade because of the slow volume. You can see it here in the volume meter. Look how incredibly slow it's getting, and they're not really responding in flow on the downside. It just was a little blip down there. Now they're coming back. So let's do this. Let's go ahead and exit this trade right here at the market with a 1 tick profit at 02 here. And if they drop right down to 4800, well, c'est la vie. I think they still can, but I'm going to abandon the trade there with a 1 tick profit at 02 even plus 0.25. So the last 3 trades we've had plus 4, plus 3, plus 4, plus 7.25 on these last 3 trades. And a little bit quiet now, so I think we're going to just take a break for a while. We'll come back and do some more trading after the break.